So let's talk about stabilization. I'm getting into this mode right now, and I usually get into this mindset every once in a while where I start to get impatient. I start to, you know, I have a need, a desire for that high again. And it's like a drug because you start over analyzing the numbers, you start going over here in your mind, you're like, what can I do to get myself up to where I was, whatever it may be, right? And you know it doesn't matter what project you feel this way on. It's all the same. It doesn't matter what level of success we're talking about. It could be somebody at a lower level that got 1,000 streams on a song and they're struggling to get 1,000 streams on a new song. you know it's like you have that high where you're really excited and you're just stoked on the future, and then you come off of that high and you start realizing things are starting to stabilize, and they're not stabilizing where you would like them to. We see this happen with lots of different types of artists. I've seen it happen with artists like Mario Judah or PP Cocaine, who blew up on TikTok a long time ago. You get to such a level that's so high, and then next thing that high is gonna have to come down eventually. Doesn't matter how popular the song is on TikTok. Doesn't matter how viral it is, unless, I mean, even something like Old Town Road, which is probably the biggest viral hit of all time, it had to come down eventually, and people are just not listening to it as much anymore. So what do you do after that high, right? So I'm looking at my stats and everything like that, and I just want to give you guys an idea of what I've done or what I've experienced, and give you guys an idea of like what to do. Okay, so like if you look at this graph right here, hopefully you can see that with my webcam on there. If you see this graph, you can see a constant down turn. The high point right here was 23,000 listeners. We're in listeners right now. Let me go to here we go. Let's go to streams. So the highest stream for that day, it was May 5th of last year, 40,000 streams in one day, right? The highest point right now, April 26th, 26,000 streams. So it's just a constant down turn. And just for some context, my schedule is still the same. I release every single week. Now, what has changed though is the quality has definitely gone down in terms of I release a lot of collabs. There's a lot of different genres. It's not very focused. It's very all over the place. And so that is definitely contributed to the downturn. Another thing that has contributed to that is discovery mode. So discovery mode definitely has taken a toll on things as well. It's helped, being on discovery mode. Like if we look right here, no wait, hold on, right here. This is last month's. If we look right here, an extra 47,000 streams for that month. And that's great, It says before discovery mode, 20,000 streams. After discovery mode, 47,000 extra streams. Almost 48,000 right there. And if you look right here, the amount of streams that my top one got, which is Zumi's Girl, which is my top song. So, of course, that's going to get a lot of Discovery Weekly or discovery mode push, is the one that gets the most, and then it just kind of trickles down from there, right? And this is kind of like taking the place of radio. That's why I bring it up as, not the greatest thing. It's because our radio, we used to get radio all the time, just naturally. And now radio does not does not hit the same anymore. Right now, every month I get about 48,000 streams right now. Before, I was getting at least 150 to 200,000 streams from just radio alone. So that just gives you an idea of like what has happened over the course of this time. Another thing is like my social media presence hasn't been completely fantastic. Um, and the reason that is just because I've had other projects that I've been working on and everything like that. But even then, like I've gone from 250,000 monthly listeners to now 150,000 monthly listeners. I think at the beginning of the year, I was maybe at like, not the beginning of this year, but like if I go 12 months back, I think I was around 190. So, I mean, I've dropped more. And it could drop even more than it has. I mean, it drops probably, I don't know, like 2,000, something like that, maybe 1,000 listeners every single month. So, and this is with me releasing every single week. So, that's definitely not the end all be all, but I mean, yeah. Anyway, my main point is that what do we do? What is the next step? When you start to stabilize, what do you do after you've started to stabilize? How do you get to that high again? How do you reach new levels and everything like this? And I think a big part of how I view it, I want to bring up a notepad here. Let me change the font size here so we can kind of really see what we're doing here. But my main idea here is, what have I done? Right? And for example, one thing like I brought up to you guys, I'm releasing weekly. I feel like that's still too big of a font. Let's bring that down a little bit. I have been releasing weekly. Lots of collabs. Let's go and put that together. Which has inherently reduced quality. Lack of social media presence. Right? So that means like even on TikTok, Instagram, Facebook, regardless, right? Another thing is lack of direction. There is no direction. Right now it's just releasing constantly every single week, and no real direction as far as like what I'm going to be doing, who I'm trying to release to, who I'm trying to target, nothing. And that goes in with the song concepts as well. The song concepts in general are directionless. They really have no real direction. They really are just kind of filler in a lot of ways. And I mean, that's fine, I guess, for the time being. But what do I do? That's where we're at. And let me think, is there anything else that I mentioned? Releasing weekly, lack of social media presence, lack of direction. I mean, that's a lot. So what do I do? Now, releasing weekly is great and everything, but it's taking a toll on the quality, obviously. And I think at this point right now, if I go and look at my releases, like this is the recent one that just released or whatever, it dropped with 2,700 streams, and over the course of this full week, it has gotten 8,000 streams. My songs have gone from getting almost 30,000 streams in the first week down to almost 10,000. So that gives you an idea of like, okay, the release radar is not giving as much love to me anymore. From like when I was releasing weekly, it was constantly giving me a large release radar push, right? And now we're not seeing that anymore. So what do we do? Well, I think, or why? The question is why, first of all, and the answer is because if it shows up on your release radar and it's at the top of your list, and you listen to the song and the quality's not there, and you're like, I don't really like this song, and you skip, my next song is going to show up lower on that release radar. So it's just a constant downturn, slowly throughout time. So that's the reason why my numbers have gone down in that way. So what's the answer, right? The answer is release less. Release less. Quality is a priority. Now, I also think that because quality is a priority, I think these songs in the future need to be solo only. And the problem with my schedule is that I've done a lot of collabs, paid collabs, and stuff like that. So, and I'm pretty much booked out throughout the entire year. So, these changes are not going to be able to fully be made until next year. Lack of social media presence. We need to up the social media presence. Up social media presence. Right now, I have one. I have multiple other projects that I currently do as well, and they're all doing pretty well. But they've also kind of like stabilized as well. So what I want to do is instead of focusing just solely on Sadzilla, I want to bring all of them up. So I'm thinking maybe have a hub for social media that is going to promote all of my projects, and that way I can kind of keep everything together, and then just move on from there. So one center hub for all, and then be able to push that. So I want to definitely do that. So that'll be a way for me to not just focus on just one social media. I can actually do multiple and get some value out of it. Lack of direction. I think a big part of what my problem is this lack of direction. Find a direction is what I should do. And I think specifically it's find listeners, find an audience for what I make. And currently I've been kind of in the same scene. I've been in the same sector of music. And I think that my creativity has just gone in a different direction as far as what that scene does normally and what I used to do. So I feel like that is going to be a big factor moving forward, is the direction. I think I know what the direction is, but I'm not going to be able to fully do that until I start releasing new music next year after these songs come out, and I can finally start over. So anyway, that's what I wanted to talk to you guys about today. So I wanted to give you guys an insight of what I'm feeling, how I want to deal with that feeling, or how I should deal with that feeling, and what I should do moving forward. And for me specifically, this is my roadmap currently. There's probably going to be more things that I'm going to add to this that are going to be a little bit more. I'll have to think about it more, but more specific. But for now, I mean, this is the basic, right? And so the question is for you guys. I mean, have you guys ever felt like this? And if so, what is something that you can do to change that current trajectory in your music career? And, like really take yourself out of the box, look at yourself from the outside looking in, and look at, like from any other perspective, like, okay, what am I doing wrong? How can I do something better? Right. And that answer is going to be different for everybody. So, but anyway, let me know down in the comments what you guys think, and I hope you guys have a great day. Until then, peace out.